think it's fair to say that we all want success, whether it be in our business, in our finances, or in our relationships. We all want to succeed. But why is it that so few people actually achieve success in these areas or even find fulfillment? The harsh reality is that the answer lies with you and the standards which you hold. Before we get into that, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Brendan and I'm a recovering accountant based here in London, and I help millennials navigate busy lives and make sure that work doesn't suck. So going back to the question of why do so few reach fulfillment? The simple answer is, it is your fault. I know that sounds brutal, but unfortunately it's true. Tony Robbins says that the only thing that will change your life, change your business, change your relationship, is that you must raise your standards. This is what you are in complete control of. In reality, it means getting rid of negative people who bring you down and replacing them with people who lift you up. So remove the glass half empty types, and in their place, put those who will lend you knowledge and ultimately help you learn from your mistakes. It's all based off the law of attraction, which dates back to the 6th century, and a gentleman called Confucius who talked about surrounding yourself with good people. He's also the one quoted as saying, if you are the smartest person in the room, then you are in the wrong room. This is the idea that you should surround yourself with people brighter, clever, more knowledgeable than you are, as they will ultimately lift you up. In crude terms, it's about raising your bar. I can explain this best with an example when I was riding from Land's End to John O'Groats. It was a 9-day, 100+ miles a day cycling event, and we were just 5 days in. I was riding with a great buddy of mine and his friends, but it should be noted that I was at this stage an average cyclist at best. Yes, I love to challenge, but I was very much at the beginning of my endurance event journey. So on this bright and sunny day in September 2012, I set off with the group from Ludlow Racecourse to Haydock Park Racecourse, a 108-mile journey with just over 3,000 feet of climbing. At this point, I should say I was easily the worst rider of the group. I know that pains me to say so, but out of a total of 9 riders, I was the least experienced. In the group, there was an ex-pro rider, 3 international rowers, one of whom was 6'9", and one who had just competed in the men's 8 boat at London 2012 rowing and helicoptered in to join us on our journey. They were all supremely fit and impressive individuals. And then there was me. As I became part of the chain gang, which is this rotation of riders, so you only spend a certain limited time pulling on the front, the pace gradually rose and the miles just ticked swiftly by. It was far from easy though. While the others would sit up and talk to each other, eating and generally enjoying the surroundings, I would be hunched over, leaning on the drops, so the handlebars that slope down to make you more aerodynamic, and working my absolute arse off just to stay in the group. It wasn't long before I found myself realizing that I was on track to complete my fastest ever 100-mile ride 5 days in to a 9-day event. This is nuts, I thought. 70 miles turned into 80 and quickly turned into 90 as I hung on to be part of this cycling train. It was, I believe, a beautiful sight to behold because we had athletic individuals all working for a common goal and pushing each other to get better and faster. I was just as glad to be part of this. But as we reached Haydock Park and ticked over into the 3 figures for the day, I was so tired I literally fell off my bike. The day's exertion was more than I had bargained for or even imagined was possible, but I had done it. The only way this was possible was that I was surrounded by people better than me, and so it forced me to raise my own standards. Whilst I questioned my own ability, I would be a better cyclist from doing so. And that's what surrounding yourself with good people does. It allows you to dream bigger and achieve feats you didn't think were previously possible. Now, I'm not suggesting that you must ride the length of the UK to raise your standards, Although if you're thinking about doing it, I would highly encourage you to do so because it is an amazing event. But putting yourself in situations where you are not the best, the cleverest, the quickest, the strongest, etc. means you will by default raise your own standards. So when it comes to creating these situations and looking for people to help raise your own standards, you will encounter generally two types of people: the engines and the anchors. We can thank Kathy Ireland for this analogy, and please do check out this super impressive woman. I'll put a link into her work below, but please bear with me for a moment. Because in life, there are engines. These are the people that propel us forwards, they believe in us and are wholeheartedly supportive of what we do. They bring us positivity. But on the other side, there are the anchors. These are the people that weigh you and everything down. They see the negativity in every situation, glass half empty, gloomy outlook, generally being a drain on enthusiasm. They may even be called the fun police. In your search to raise your bar, it's important to stop and think, who are you surrounding yourself with? Are they engines, i.e. moving you forwards to your goals, or are they anchors, constantly holding yourself back? To help you, I've collated the 7 incredibly effective tips to simplifying the process to finding more engines than anchors. So with that, let's dive in. Number 1, write down the 5 people you interact with most. This could be friends or family or colleagues or school buddies. It doesn't really matter, but they must be the 5 people you spend most time interacting with. Number 2, write down the 5 characteristics that they exhibit most. So this could be positive or negative, widely known or quietly hidden. Whatever they are, write them down. Now number 3 is write anchor or engine next to them. This is likely to be a relatively binary choice, and it could be quite hard to do, especially if you are fond of the people on the list. How many engines do you have on this list? Because number 4 is around circling the anchors. These are the people you need to review and swap out for more positive relationships. It can feel quite calculating, but that's all part of the process. If you're committed to becoming the best version that you possibly can be and raising your bar, shouldn't you do all you can to achieve this? What it means is interacting with those who are likely to benefit you in your life. Now the next bit I learned from Darren Hardy in the Entrepreneur Rollercoaster, and I'll put a link in the description below because I would highly recommend checking it out. Number 5 is around reviewing your dissociation. So this is identifying those people in your wider network. It revolves around the idea of weeding out the interactions which have negative influences. Much like when being a kid, there were always some who were classed as a bad influence if you fell in with the wrong crowd. This usually involves smoking or drinking and rage, or generally getting into mischief. Well, that's the polite way of putting it. Who are those people who you know that you should break away from? Because number 6 is around identifying your limited associations. These are the people that you like to spend time with, and Darren talks about how he has 3-minute friends. Those are the people he will happily have a conversation with for 3 minutes, but he wouldn't spend 3 days with, for example. He also has somebody that he would go on and spend time with for 3 days, but wouldn't go on vacation for 3 weeks with, for example. Now, I know from a personal perspective who I will speak to if I have a business idea, but it won't be the same person as if I have a sporting goal that I need to talk through. This is all about deciding how much time you can afford to spend with people. Again, he does admit it can be a bit ruthless, but not letting anyone's actions or influences damage his positivity, goals and objectives is super important to him. And perhaps one of the most important actions is number 7. Identify and write down your expanded associations. This is the identification of people to whom you would like to connect with, those whom you want to reach out to. They may have the lifestyle you yearn for, the relationships you want to cultivate, or the business groups you want to join. For me, I would love to connect with a fellow Brendan Burchard, who is widely regarded as being one of the greatest kind of high performance experts in the world. Being able to have a conversation with him would be fantastic and would definitely improve my ability to connect with people. Whomever it may be, right down to people who want to become part of your network. This gives you a target list and ultimately a bit of a blueprint of how to achieve it, because hint, see what they have done and replicate the parts that worked. The chances are it is taking action that got them a good proportion of the way there. And at this point, I have just finished listening to James Clear's Atomic Habits, and he talks about motion or action. Researching and talking to people is motion, i.e. you're moving, but action is actually what counts. And there we have it. The 7 steps to bringing more positivity in your life, raising your standards, and ultimately finding more engines than anchors. Now, I know it might not be easy, but I promise you it will be worth it. From a personal experience, I know that this works. Whether it be in a sporting context or in the business world, having those around to help and support is vital in achieving success. But it's probably worth letting Tony Robbins have the last word, as he knows a thing or two about helping others achieve fulfillment. He says, if we surround ourselves with people who are successful, who are forward-moving, who are positive, who are focused on producing results, who support us, it will challenge us to be more and do more and share more. If you can surround yourself with people who will never let you settle for less than you can be, you have the greatest gift that anyone can hope for. That's pretty powerful. But that's it. If you like what you are seeing here, please don't forget to hit the like button and make sure that you push the bell so it wobbles, because that just means you will be updated for when all my videos are released. But if you did like this video, please do check out this one here, where I talk about how to be successful. You must be vulnerable. But with that, have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.